I just came back to do one more picture, and I hope that you all will like it very, very much. I would like to be known as a serious actress and not as a thick girl.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope that you are having a blessed and wonderful day. So Taylor Swift has a song called Clara Bow, and I know it leaves a lot of people wondering, who is Clara Bow? Well, like Taylor Swift, she was Hollywood's it girl. Throughout the 1920s, Clara Bow became one of Hollywood's biggest stars. She rose to fame in the silent film era, appearing in over 46 silent films and 11 talkies, including hits like Man Trap in 1926 and It in 1927, which originated her nickname It Girl. Her story is one of glamour, talent, and resilience, but even though she had great success, her story is also sad. She experienced a really rough childhood, from being almost killed by her mother to being raped by her father. Later on in life, Clara would deal with mental health issues that probably stemmed from the things she experienced in her childhood. She spent her later years alone and secluded, not only from society, but also her family. Despite all of these difficulties, Clara's dream to stardom never wavered. Through all of this, she pushed through and made a name for herself, leaving a lasting legacy. So let's dive into the woman who Taylor Swift is talking about. Clara Gordon Bow was born on July 29, 1905 in Brooklyn, New York, to her parents Robert and Sarah Bow. She was their third child. She had two older sisters who were born in 1903 and 1904, but they died in infancy. Before Clara was born, the doctor told her mother it wasn't a good idea for you to become pregnant again because he feared that the next baby might die as well, but despite this warning, Sarah became pregnant with Clara. Her father, Robert, was absent and had trouble finding work most of the time, so they lived in poverty. Clara was always teased for her worn-out clothes, and she later stated that I never had any clothes, and lots of the time we didn't have anything to eat. Her mother, Sarah, dealt with mental health issues that stemmed from a brain injury that happened when she was 16 after she fell out of a second-story window. She was diagnosed as psychotic due to epilepsy. Because of this, she would have these psychotic and hostile episodes that had worsened as she got older, and she was really mean to Clara. But Clara knew that she couldn't help it and that she didn't mean to be mean to her. So Clara took care of her mother and learned how to deal with these episodes. Although she found a way to deal with this, she felt like she didn't have a childhood and that she took care of her mother all the time, but her mother never took care of her. Now, when Sarah realized that Clara was set for a movie career, she told her she would be better off dead, and she was dead serious because one night, Clara woke up to a butcher knife held to her throat by her mother. Clara was able to fend off the attack and locked her mother in the room, and in the morning, she had no recollection of what happened the night before. Now, that was the last straw, and she was committed to a sanitarium by Clara's father. With her mother being gone, her father saw the opportunity to take advantage of his daughter and raped her when she was 16. Now, this is the only incident that Clara ever mentions, but sadly, there's no telling how many times that this happened. Clara eventually forgave her father, though, and throughout her career, she continued to have a relationship with him, and he became her manager. Clara's journey to Hollywood began that same year when she won a beauty contest at the age of 16, propelling her into the world of silent films. She made her film debut in 1922 with Beyond the Rainbow, but it was her role in the 1923 film Down to the Sea in Ships that caught the industry's attention. Her vivacious personality and natural acting ability quickly made her a favorite among audiences and directors alike. Clara Bow's appeal went beyond her acting talent. She embodied the spirit of the roaring 20s. People loved her bob hair, her flapper style, and her carefree attitude. Her ability to convey deep emotion and complex characters without sound made her a true icon of the silent film era. As sound films emerged in the late 1920s, Clara was one of the stars who made a successful transition to talkies. Now, Clara didn't really like talkies, but everyone else thought she was great at it. Her fans loved her and Paramount. She continued to captivate audiences, and some of her best work is in The Wild Party in 1929 and Call Her Savage in 1932. Eventually, the pressures of fame and the changing dynamics of Hollywood began taking a toll on Clara. She faced intense scrutiny from the media, and her private struggles with family issues and mental health were frequently exploded by the press. Clara would later describe her nerves as all shot. She said that she just reached a breaking point, and they said that she had rows of bottles of sedatives by her bed because she was so stressed out. So she eventually retired from acting in 1933. In her personal life, she married actor Rex Bell, who later became a lieutenant governor of Nevada.
Now here's a big surprise. I want you to meet the most gorgeous man in the world, Mr. Rex Bell, my husband. Hooray! Say hello, darling.
Hello, everybody.
They had 2 sons together, Tony and George Beldam. After retiring from Hollywood, her and her husband opened the It Cafe in the Hollywood Plaza, but it later closed in 1943. She made her last public performance in 1947 on a radio show called Truth or Consequences, and she also was the mystery voice in the show's Mrs. Hush contest. Around this time, Clara began showing symptoms of psychiatric illness. She became withdrawn from society, and she even refused to socialize with her husband and refused to let him leave the house. While her husband was running for the U.S. House of Representatives, he had to be away a lot of the time and couldn't just stay home, so she attempted suicide, leaving a note saying she preferred death to a public life. She began having insomnia and these abdominal pains, so she checked into the Institute of Living to be treated. Shock treatment and different psychological tests were performed on her, and everything came back normal. Her abdominal pains were considered a delusion, and she was diagnosed with schizophrenia. People who knew her claimed she was unable to reason, had poor judgment, and displayed inappropriate or even bizarre behavior. The doctors tied the onset of her illness as well as her insomnia to the butcher knife episode that happened with her mother, but Clara rejected all their explanations and left the institute. And after leaving the institute, she did not return to her family. Instead, she just lived alone in a bungalow where she rarely left until her death. She spent her last years in Culver City under the constant care of a nurse, living off of her $500,000 estate. Clara Bow lived to be 60. She suffered from a heart attack and passed away on September 27th in 1965. I hope you all enjoyed this video on Clara Bow. Thank you all so much for watching and stay blessed.
She's got it, and plenty of it, brother. She's got it. I never saw another have so much of such and such. Well, she's really not exquisite, but after all, what is it? Lips and eyes, just like a million others. Still, what made me fall? Why, it ain't that, and that ain't it. That is that, and it is it, and she's got it. That's all.
You're a builder-upper, a breaker-downer, a